We talk about the 2026 budget now. Former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has accused the federal government of altering laws following the presentation of the 2026 national budget. Obi raised these allegations after President Bola Tinubu presented the 2026 fiscal proposal to the National Assembly, detailing projected revenues, expenditures, and macroeconomic assumptions. In a statement he titled "Migrating from Padded Budgets to Forged Laws" on his X handle, Obi claimed that the documents approved by lawmakers differed from the versions later published and implemented by the executive, describing this as a threat to constitutional order and public confidence. So to help us make sense of this, we are joined by a legal practitioner, Evans Ufeli. Mr. Ufeli, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So the word budget padding is not new in Nigeria, whether proven or alleged. But then, are you genuinely convinced that certain elements in governments could go as far as altering laws already approved by the legislature?
Well, that is the allegation as before the executive from Peter Obi. It is possible, something like that can happen, given that we've had a lot of inconsistencies and the budgets. Every year, there must be a scandal or other with budget presentation or the budget or the substance itself. Like one of the dailies describe it as a migration from budget padding to forgery of the law. And it's so, but it is grave indictment, executive. Peter Obi did not also present the law as it was, the appropriation bill as it was the National Assembly signed, passed it. And now that is on implementation of what is being implemented by the executive. Yet there are discrepancies. So these discrepancies were pointed out from the Twitter handle that was made. So further investigation is required here. If truly what the executive is implementing is different from what the National Assembly passed, then that is a gross misconduct. It's a zero rascality, and that should not be condoned under our democratic dispensation.
Well, the Nigerian government has actually responded to these claims, dismissing it, that the new tax laws were altered, and actually, described it as misinformation. But then, do you see these claims as a deliberate attempt to sabotage the tax reforms, maybe, and even slow down their implementation?
I don't think so. If the claims are credible, in the start to prove, it's left to who has this to prove that truly what he says is the truth and exactly what is being implemented. So that's why I said the day come will require investigation. You should call the relevant authorities to investigate what has happened so far. Until that investigation is done and concluded, we can't just take a pinch of salt. It's an allegation, okay? More like whistleblower in a sense. But that requires a lot of correction, a lot of investigation to know truly what has happened. Okay, and the relevant authorities should be able to do that as quickly as possible, because on no hand should the executive implement the document, the law that was not approved by the National Assembly. That will be going against democracy. That will be a serious handout to this government that it should not allow to happen. So, so long as there is a whistleblower over it is left up for us to see through process. And as I say that there is that information is positive note.
Okay, so we are waiting investigation. Yes, we understand. But then let's look at it this way. If the allegations are actually true, experts say that it would amount to a serious breach of legislative procedure and the Constitution. So as a legal luminary, what would you say are the real implications? I'm talking about legal implications now of such a breach, if it were true.
Well, the legal implication is that it's lead to breach of trust. Okay. And then it become a constitutional misconduct from the executive, which we want to have a solid assembly. That would mean calling for impeachment of the president, if that is true, okay, yes, because it's gross conduct. And where you have gross conduct is to the root democratic engagement. Parliament is the hallmark of democracy. Whatever Parliament passes must be sustained, and that must be what should be signed into law or vetoed by the president. Okay? So the executive will work with a separate document that did not go to the scrutiny of the nature of the section 88 and of the 1999 Constitution already powered the Assembly oversight function. And to go through process, legislative process with executive bills that are before it. Okay, because the apportionment bill is the law, the law, and the rest of these are all executive that emanate from the president. Okay, from the executive. So the judicial impeachment having been done, it must be stained at the of assent and point of implementation. And that is what must be cut over into executive. So, but where there is a smart, somebody smart somewhere, somebody trying to undermine democracy by implementing another document other than one passed by the National Assembly, then that set is gross conduct. And the penalty is severe under the law.
All right, thank you so much, Evans Ufeli, for sharing your legal perspective with us on the news.
My pleasure.